What's going on, everybody? It's GameUnboxingReviews here, and welcome back to another LEGO Marvel Avengers news update. Now, this video is, of course, my E3 2015 wrap-up video, where we're going to talk about pretty much every single thing that was announced for LEGO Marvel Avengers at E3, because I decided to just not bother making a video and then another video and another video, because I just thought it would be much more fun to make a whole big video talking about everything. And trust me, that was well worth the wait, because I have some extremely exciting things to talk about. I mean, this game has, you know, it's just surpassed all my expectations. It sounds incredible, and I can't wait to share with you all what it is all about. So, without further ado, let's get to it. Alright, so first off, basically what I'm going to be doing is basically doing categories. So instead of just saying, yes, this is in the game and this is in the game, I've kind of put them all into one category. So the first one is about the sound in the game, basically, like what you're going to hear from the voices, what you're going to hear from the soundtrack and things like that. So if you'll know from the previous LEGO Marvel superheroes, we had like Laura Bailey playing Black Widow, and we had like Troy Baker playing, I think it was Hawkeye, and you know, we had all those actors who did a great job. You know, they all did a brilliant job with what they were given. Yeah, it was great. But here's the thing. They aren't coming back this time. They might be playing other characters, but they're not playing the Avengers because, basically, just like previous LEGO games, so, you know, like the recent LEGO Jurassic World, and then, of course, there was LEGO The Lord of the Rings and LEGO The Hobbit, LEGO Marvel's Avengers now features the actual audio from both the Avengers and Age of Ultron. So you will actually hear the likes of Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, and Tom Hiddleston, you know, and that's just an example. There's lots more, of course. You will hear their voices in the game. So you're getting the full Avengers experience. You're actually playing through the movie. You're going to hear the audio from those characters, which is amazing. I mean, that's just awesome. Playing an Iron Man game that actually has Robert Downey Jr.'s voice. Well, not just Iron Man, obviously all the Avengers, but that's awesome. That is so cool. That really took me off guard because I had no idea they were going to do that. I actually thought they wouldn't be allowed. But yeah, great, really cool. Now, another great thing about this is not only do we get the voices from these awesome movies, we also get the soundtrack. Yes, so you will get the soundtrack that you hear from the Avengers and Age of Ultron. So that awesome scene, you know, with the Chitauri battle in the Battle of New York, where it's da 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 da, you know, all that is in the game. That is in the game. So once that, you know, that scene is playing in the final product, you will hear that music. I mean, this is crazy. This game is totally the Avengers game. You know, it really is. It's, you play through both movies, you get to hear the voices, you get to hear the music. It's brilliant. And this is just the start. I mean, this is June. We're in June. Imagine what the, you know, the announcements are going to be in the coming weeks and months. It's crazy. Alright, so now on to the next category, which is, of course, combat. The combat in this game, again, just like the movie dialogue and soundtrack, that has completely surpassed all my expectations because I wasn't expecting it to be this cool. I mean, the combat system in this game is amazing. First off, with the first game, you know, it was really cool. You had, like, Iron Man could throw people, and Cap did, like, the moves you would expect him to do. You know, they all did what you'd expect them to do, and you were thinking, how would they top that? Because that was fun. I didn't really see any problems with the LEGO Marvel Superheroes combat system, but it seems like they got a lot of requests of people to fix the combat system, you know, to improve it. And they have, like, they really have. So, first off, a new feature that has been added to the game is the power bar. Now, the power bar can be filled when you take out enemies. Once it is full, you can perform a solo or team combat move depending on your choice. So, you can team up Iron Man, Captain America, or Black Widow and Hawkeye, or Thor and Quicksilver. You can do that. So, basically, they did some examples. So, for example, Thor being able to hit Captain America's shield creates a shockwave, which is awesome. And I know a lot of people have been requesting, can you do that? Well, there you go, there's your confirmation. Yes, you can. TT Games are always one step ahead of us. They're thinking of what to add, which is great. The next one is Cap launching Widow or Hawkeye into the air. So basically what he does is, just like the movie when that jumps to the Chitauri, you know, ship, you know, he throws her into the air and then she catches it. But this time, Cap throws the character into the air, and then if you know, throwing Black Widow, she'll shoot all the Chitauri or the enemies in sight, And if you're Hawkeye, he like rains down on the arrows, and it's just so cool. And finally, this one, which I think is the coolest one that I've heard, because I can't wait to see how it works, is basically Thor charges up Tony's armor like he did in the first Avengers movie. So if you remember when they were fighting in the woods, Thor and Tony, you know, Thor basically electrocutes Tony, and then his suit gets charged up to 400% capacity. And well, that happens in game. So you can get Thor to charge Tony up once your power bar is full. And, you know, he'll charge the suit up to 400% capacity. That sounds really cool, because it makes me think it's like a timed, you know, improvement to the suit. So like it's even more overpowered abilities and things. I think that would be really cool. I'm really excited to see how that's going to work in game. Another thing, which is a small thing, but small things for me in games, they really impact the experience because they're just so cool. And basically they are parameterized animations. Now what this is, an example of it basically would be, you'll see Captain America and he will switch arms with his shield depending on where he is. So if he moves to the left, he'll move his hand to the left. If he moves to the right, he moves his hand to the right. It's just simple little things like that that really make a game for me. And it's great to see that they've been added to this game, because when you watch him in the gameplay, it's really smooth. You know, he'll go kick a Chitauri, he'll hit one in the face with a shield, and then he'll turn around, and then he'll move his shield to that hand. I mean, it's very cool. It's very cool how they've done it. And the last thing to mention on combat, this is very cool because I know a lot of people were wanting this. Certain costumes will actually give you different weapons and abilities. Now, they didn't go too far into this, you know, which is great because, you know, it makes you speculate, could we have, like, Iron Man suits that do different abilities and things? Well, like, you know, there's tons of possibilities, but one example they did give is, for example, Black Widow's awesome in the Avengers. You know, she's really cool. You see her with her guns and everything, which is great. But here's the thing. Age of Ultron Black Widow plays completely different to Avengers Black Widow. So it's like having two separate versions of that character, and they play completely different. An example of that would be, instead of the guns, she might still have them, but she actually has her electric batons from Avengers Age of Ultron. So yeah, that is pretty cool. So suits actually give you new abilities and new weapons, and you know, the amount of possibilities they could do with that is tons. So I can't wait to see what else they have up their sleeve. Alright, so now we're going to talk about character abilities. So first off, we have Black Widow. Now, as you can see here, this is an interesting feature. Basically, it allows Black Widow to use shield technology to scan certain areas in the environment. This then reveals hidden objects. Now, obviously, it's not a huge thing, but it's still pretty cool. I mean, I would imagine this will be used in free play or free roam. You know, you will find like somewhere in the environment, and then it will require the shield technology, and it'll allow you to find, say, a mini kit or something. I think that would be pretty cool. Next up is Captain America. Now, Captain America in LEGO Marvel Superheroes, he was cool. You know, he was cool. He did some cool stuff. This game, he's incredible. I mean, wow. Like, I think he has to be my favorite character they have showed off at E3. For starters, he can punch, he can kick, he can throw his shield, he can hit with his shield, he can move his shield around, and now also, not only can he extinguish LEGO fires with his shield, he can jump right in the air and slam the shield on the ground, and it just extinguishes all the fires there. I mean, wow. He is so cool in this game. And the best part about it is, like I just said, costumes give you different abilities. So that was the Avengers Captain America. Imagine what Age of Ultron Captain America will fight like. I mean, wow. It's crazy. The possibilities with this game are insane. Now, next up is Hawkeye. Now, I remember with LEGO Marvel Superheroes, or at least when it released, people were hoping for more arrows if they ever got to make another LEGO Marvel game, and they've listened. As always, TT Games seem to listen to every little bit of, you know, an idea, which is brilliant. And Hawkeye now has new arrows. So first off, he now has arrows that can shoot, well, basically, he shoots gold LEGO objects, and it melts the gold. That is so cool. And you're probably thinking, alright, that's cool, but can he still blow up metal gold objects? Yes, he can. You know, he has all the abilities you'd expect from the previous game. He has the rope arrow and everything, but he now can melt gold LEGO objects. And another one he has is he can shatter LEGO glass. So he's really cool. He's got so many cool abilities. And you know, if you know from the Avengers, he had like the hacking arrows and everything. So we might see that as well. I mean, you know, this was just E3. It's only June, and this game comes out in winter, so there's a lot of things that we probably haven't seen yet, which is really cool, and I can't wait to see all of it, because this game is gonna be amazing. I mean, yeah, it's so cool. Now then, we're gonna be talking about Iron Man, and this, seriously, I could not believe it when I heard this because, you know, there were doubts. I didn't think this would make it in. But yes, Arthur Parsons has officially confirmed that suit-ups will be available to Tony Stark in the game. Yes, you will be able to suit up as Iron Man, you know, in all of his different suits. I mean, this is crazy. So basically what you do is, to do this, you press a button, which then brings up Tony's head inside his helmet. Now, this, of course, reveals the classic Iron Man hood from the movies, you know, the heads-up display with Jarvis and everything. I'm interested to see if Jarvis, you know, Paul Bettany will be voicing Jarvis in the game, since they're using movie audio, but, you know, we'll have to see. So yeah, you know, it brings up the heads-up display and everything like that, and then what happens is, from here you can choose a suit. So the examples Arthur gave was, say, the Mark 7 or the Hulkbuster or something like that, and then you watch as Tony Stark suits up in the suit of your choice. I mean, wow, that is crazy. The fact that they listened to such a complex idea like that is brilliant. I mean, this game has everything I wanted and more since LEGO Marvel Superheroes. You know, LEGO Marvel Superheroes had a few things missing that didn't really make it perfect. It was a brilliant game, but there was like just the tiniest little things that were missing from it. And it seems like they're adding them to this game, so yeah, this could be my new favourite game. And the last thing to mention about character abilities is, for all those Quicksilver fans, including myself, because Quicksilver is awesome, Arthur has teased that Quicksilver is a very cool character to play as, and he also teased that, you know, Iron Man and Quicksilver's ability, where, you know, they team up, is very fast and very cool. So if you like Quicksilver, then you're going to love him in this game. Now, this is just a quick thing to mention, but in the gameplay we see a really cool new section, which is very similar to the likes of LEGO Batman 3 Beyond Gotham with those Resogun inspired missions, but this time, you know, you're playing as the Quinjet and you're going around and you're shooting all the Jitari ships and everything, which is really cool. But the cool thing about this, I think, is that you don't have to do that if you don't want to. If you want to play as Thor and just fight all the Jitari on Stark Tower until the cutscene plays, you can totally do that. And another cool thing about this is, if you're playing in co-op with like your brother or your sister or your friend or whatever, you can both do something. So one person plays as the Quinjet, I think it's Hawkeye driving it, you know, you're flying around, you're shooting the Jitari, and then another person plays as Thor fighting the Jitari on Stark Tower. So it's a really big emphasis on team-ups. I mean, and also, of course, you can team up when you're in co-op. So once, let's say one character is Iron Man, the other is Captain America, and their team-up thing is full, they can both perform that by just going up to each other. The co-op in this game is going to be very cool and very exciting. Alright, so now we're going to be talking about confirmed characters to appear in the game. Now, obviously, we have, of course, the core Avengers characters. You know, you've got Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, Captain America, Black Widow, and Hawkeye, which are all great. You know, like I've said, I've talked about them. Hulk can still transform into Bruce Banner and everything. Thor is amazing. Captain America is incredible. Black Widow has awesome abilities. And Iron Man, well, suit-ups. That's all I'm gonna say. It's just, he's so cool in this game. Now, we also have the new additions, which I confirmed with the artwork video, which are, of course, Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, Vision, and Ultron. And the funny thing is about that is, with LEGO Marvel Superheroes, I remember there were requests for those characters, just those characters. It was, I really hope Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, Vision, and Ultron are in the game. And, you know, they weren't, sadly. But here's the thing, when Age of Ultron came along, you know, that's a great excuse for them to add all those characters, because you play through all that movie, you know? So if you like Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, Vision, and Ultron, then you'll be happy to know that, yes, they are entirely playable in this game, in free play, probably the story mode, and of course free roam as well, but more on free roam later. So that's really cool. But also, of course, it's not just, you know, those characters. We do want to know about some side characters as well. So a few that were mentioned are Agent Coulson, which is awesome. I loved him in the previous game. He was great. Clark Gregg reprised his role, which was even cooler. Hopefully he comes back and does it, because he did a great job in that, and it's Agent Coulson. I mean, that's awesome. Then we have Eric Selvig, which is really cool. I love seeing a LEGO Eric Selvig in the gameplay. That is just awesome. Then we have the Other. Now, the Other, that is awesome. I can't wait to see what the Other is going to look like in LEGO form. And hopefully, of course, since we have the Other, maybe we'll have Ronan. Maybe we'll have Thanos. You know, who knows? I really hope we do, because imagine just running around New York City as Thanos in like the Marvel Cinematic Universe Thanos. That would just be so cool. Bring in the Infinity War a few years earlier, if you know what I mean. And then also we have Agent Hill, which is great. She seems to have a little bit of a different design. I could be wrong, but it looks different from, you know, LEGO Marvel Superheroes. It's more based on the actual minifigure from the SHIELD helicarrier set. Then we have Ulysses Claw, which is awesome. It is, of course, the Andy Serkis version of the character from Age of Ultron, which is great. And finally, from what was announced at E3, we also know that Ultron Mark 1, which is, you know, strings, it's that version, and Ultimate Ultron from the end of the movie will be in the game and, of course, playable. So that is great. You know, you've got two versions of Ultron. Honestly, I would say there's probably at least one more, because I think there is a Lego set that has one version that's not just Ultimate and Mark 1. So if you're wanting one more Ultron, then don't worry, because I'm sure it'll be in there. But if not, then that is great, because that means you get to play as basically the start out Ultron and the ending Ultron, which is great. And I can't wait to see his abilities in game, because I'm blown away by what all the characters can do in the main story. So just imagine what he'll be able to do, because it's probably going to be amazing. Now we're going to be talking about the open world of LEGO Marvel's Avengers. Yes, the open world. I've been getting so many messages and tweets and everything off people saying, you know, what is this game? Is it going to be like LEGO Batman 3 with little hubs? Is it going to be like LEGO Marvel Superheroes with a big city and everything? Well, let me explain. So, Arthur has confirmed that the open world of New York City is back. But this time it is revamped with lots of all new content. Now obviously you'll have the classic quest system, you'll have races and chases, which is all great, but here's the thing, this is incredible. The game now also has a random crime system where you can stop crimes that are taking place in Manhattan during free roam. I mean, that is incredible. That is like literally the only thing that was missing from free roam in LEGO Marvel Superheroes. So now, you know, even after you've completed all the side quests and everything, you still have things to do. You know, you still have a reason to come back and, you know, run around New York City and fight crime and stuff. Now, you're probably thinking, that's cool, but do you have any more details? Yes, I do. Two examples of this are bank robberies, which you can choose to stop, and also a car thief. Now, not only that, but there are also more exciting features that have yet to be revealed, but I'm sure we'll find out in the coming weeks and months. But anyway, how cool is that? So basically, you could be driving along, you know, as Tony Stark in your car, and then you see a bank robbery in place. So then what do? You suit up in the suit of your choice, and you go stop the bad guys. I think you don't have to. I think, you know, I think it's kind of optional. It's not forcing you into the crime like previous Marvel games. But yeah, you can stop crimes in free roam. How is that going to get boring? I mean, you got suit ups, you've got free roam, you've got random crimes. This game has everything a Marvel game needs, really. The only thing I could say that is only missing now, and it isn't even a big deal, would be Avengers Tower, being able to go inside it. If you can go inside Avengers Tower, this will probably be my favorite Marvel game to date, because they've blown me away with all the content in this game. I mean, it's crazy. And obviously, like I said, it's only June. Imagine what we're going to hear in the coming weeks and months. It's going to be crazy. Alright, so last but not least is content outside of the movies. Now, I left this one last because I know this will probably be the most important feature for people who are buying this game. So basically, Arthur has said that the main characters in the game, you know, in the main story, that's all about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You know, Avengers and Age of Ultron. That is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. However, outside of the main story, you do have content from classic comic book characters, and of course they'll be in their classic comic book costumes, which is great. Now, he didn't give any specifics or any details on this, but, you know, basically what he said was, you know, we will divulge into the Avengers comic books, you know, the history of the Avengers, not just about the movies. This is celebrating the Avengers in general with comic books and everything, which is great because, you know, if you look at the history of the Avengers, you've had, like, Spider-Man and things like that, so you might see Spider-Man in this game, even though he's not in the Marvel Cinematic Universe yet, you know, not yet. He will be, but not yet. You might still be able to play as him. I know a lot of people are going to ask, is the X-Men and Fantastic Four in the game? I have no idea. I honestly, right now, I couldn't even say. I would love to see them in the game. It would be great, but for now, I have no idea. I mean, it would be cool, but, you know, we'll see. And another thing to mention is, Arthur teased two things related to comic books, and they're costumes, but it's still cool. He teased that we may see classic comic book versions of Ulysses Claw and the Vision, which is great because although I love the Vision in Age of Ultron, I also love the comic book version, and you know, that costume is so cool. The yellow and the green, it looks great. So if I can play as that version of him as well, that's awesome. And most likely, you know, you'll probably have like classic Iron Man, Captain America, Hulk, etc. So there's a load of content to look forward to this game, and it's massive. This game is going to be huge. It's completely surpassed all my expectations, and I can't wait to play it. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it for this video. I mean, LEGO Marvel's Avengers looks absolutely incredible. I'm completely blown away by everything that has been shown at E3. And like I said, you know, it's early days. We still have so many announcements to come before E3, and it's going to be so exciting. But what I want to know is, what are you most excited about from all the E3 announcements that I announced today? Personally, I would have to say suit-ups and random crimes. I really would. I mean, just being able to run around New York City as Tony Stark, get into cars, you know, really fast sports cars, and you know, come across a bank robbery and be able to suit up as Iron Man and stop that bank robbery. That is amazing. I mean, that is going to be so much fun. And honestly, I don't see how that's going to get boring. I also hope that, you know, Rhodey will be able to do it as well, because it would just be so cool to play as, you know, Tony and Rhodey and have them both suit up at the same time. Oh, that would be so much fun. The possibilities with this game are endless. It's going to be so cool, and I can't wait to finally play it. Alright guys, so I want to thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for lots more videos real soon, and as always, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe.